When their late police captain is linked to drug cartels, Miami cops Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett set out on a risky mission to clear his name. Get ready to relive the adventure as we recap the story of action and comedy film today. Bad Boys, Ride or Die, production year 2024. The story starts in Miami, where detectives Mike Lowrey and Marcus Burnett are speeding through the streets on their way to an event. Marcus feels sick, so Mike stops for a moment to let him get a ginger ale. Marcus grabs the ginger ale, along with some Skittles and a hot dog. Just then, a robber enters the store trying to steal. Mike comes in and scolds Marcus for getting snacks, and Marcus quickly moves the robber's arm. Mike then shoots the robber in the leg. The two then head to Mike's wedding, where he is marrying his physical therapist, Christine. They are joined by Marcus's wife, Teresa, their daughter, Megan, son-in-law, Reggie, as well as Captain Rita Sakata, her boyfriend, and District Attorney Adam Lockwood, who is also a mayoral candidate. Also present are MO agents Kelly and Dorn, along with U.S. Marshal Judy, the late Captain Howard's daughter, and her daughter, Callie. During the celebration, Marcus suddenly suffers a near-fatal heart attack and collapses. As his loved ones rush to get help, Marcus has a vision of himself on a beach where he sees Howard standing by a tree. Howard approaches Marcus and tells him that it's not his time yet. Marcus wakes up in the hospital after a few weeks, feeling grateful for life and oddly confident after surviving such a close call. When he returns home, he finds Mike, Christine, and his whole family celebrating his recovery. However, his excitement fades when he discovers that Teresa has thrown out all his snacks to put him on a strict healthy diet, which annoys him. In another part of Miami, a former DEA officer named James McGrath meets with a cartel banker and instructs him to transfer funds into an account under Captain Howard's name. Once the transaction is complete, McGrath orders one of his men to shoot the banker's bodyguard. He then forces the banker's girlfriend to hold the gun and shoot the banker before turning the weapon on herself. Soon, news breaks that Captain Howard is being posthumously framed for involvement with the cartels. Mike and Marcus go to the station to confront the higher UPS, who now believe Howard was corrupt. During this, Judy arrives, determined to join the case, and vows to Mike that if she ever encounters Armando, she will kill him as revenge for her father's death. Later, Mike and Marcus visit Armando in prison, where they learn that Howard became a target after his previous enemies were eliminated due to his work against the cartels. Although Armando can't remember McGrath's name, he recognizes his face, knowing he worked with Armando's mother and can identify him. McGrath and his goons attempt to access Captain Howard's accounts, but they unknowingly trigger a fail-safe that sends video messages to Mike and Marcus. In the videos, Howard explains that if they're watching this, it means he's dead and being framed for something that dates back over 20 years. He advises them to follow a lead he refers to as the Coke Bottle Giant, which turns out to be a nickname for one of their former informants, Fletcher. Mike and Marcus head to Fletcher's club to get information from him. Fletcher, realizing they're there on behalf of Howard, is just about to reveal what they need to know when McGrath suddenly shoots him in the head. At that moment, Marcus had already aimed his gun at Fletcher to force him to talk. McGrath calmly walks away as his gunmen engage Mike and Marcus in a shootout. During the chaos, Mike suffers a panic attack, leaving them vulnerable. The gunmen manage to escape before Rita and her officers arrive. Despite the tension, Mike stops Marcus from telling Rita that they were following a lead from Howard. Mike and Marcus hand over the surveillance photos and footage to Kelly and Dorn, who help them unlock a scan code with another message from Howard. In this message, Howard provides more details about his work on a cartel case. He explains that he kept Mike and Marcus out of the investigation because two other detectives, Ruiz and Sanchez from the first movie were assigned to it and were killed. Howard warns that the cartel has infiltrated both the police and the FBI. In prison, Armando is attacked by thugs sent by McGrath. Mike argues for Armando to be transferred by helicopter for his safety. Unfortunately, McGrath and his men hijack the helicopter and force the pilot to send a distress signal that frames Mike and Marcus for the attack. McGrath then kills the pilot and escapes with some of his crew, abandoning the helicopter. Mike and Marcus fight off the remaining goons while trying to prevent Armando from being thrown out of the open hatch. After successfully saving Armando, he helps them make a crash landing in a nearby lake. Authorities examine the crash site and receive the distress message, leading to Mike, Marcus, and Armando being labeled as wanted fugitives. McGrath then places a large bounty on their heads, attracting every gangster in Miami. Mike and Marcus follow Armando's advice on how to stay on the run. Marcus sees this as a chance for Mike to bond with his son, but neither Mike nor Marcus is interested in that and only focuses on clearing their names. They end up at a trailer park and attempt to steal clothes from some locals. When they're caught and held at gunpoint, Armando hotwires a truck and manages to escape with Mike and Marcus. After driving back into Miami, the truck breaks down. Mike contacts Tabitha, a known associate, and arranges to meet her at her club in exchange for guns, clothes, and a new vehicle. However, when they arrive, Tabitha pretends to help but is actually stalling to bring in other gangsters who will capture them for the bounty. Just as they are being led outside, rival gangsters arrive and attack the captor gangsters. Among them is Manny the Butcher, seeking revenge on Mike for smashing his hand with a meat hammer. Manny's plan is cut short when the guys manage to board a van, crush Manny against another car, and hit him with a Molotov cocktail. Mike, Marcus, and Armando drive away and shoot at the pursuing gangsters, but Judy also joins the chase, trying to fire at Armando. As their van's engine catches fire and explodes, the three jump out to escape. Mike, Marcus, and Armando head to Dorn's place, where they discover that Dorn is secretly involved with Kelly. Despite their reluctance to help Armando, Dorn and Kelly agree to assist Mike and Marcus by sorting through a massive amount of evidence to identify McGrath. After combing through the footage, they manage to find McGrath in a surveillance video. Dorn then investigates McGrath's background and uncovers that he and his team were once taken hostage by the cartel. Under torture, McGrath betrayed his team, which left him as the sole survivor. Mike contacts Rita to inform her about McGrath. Shortly after, Dorn's security cameras show McGrath's men targeting Christine and Marcus's family. While Mike tries to reach Christine, Marcus contacts Reggie to warn him of the threat. Reggie quickly hides Teresa, Megan, and little Marcus, then uses his combat skills to take out 15 goons and keep his family safe, finally earning Marcus's respect. Meanwhile, Christine is visited by Callie, who offers to help clear Mike and Marcus's names, but McGrath's goons have already infiltrated her location. McGrath contacts Mike, demanding that he surrender Armando and all of Howard's evidence in exchange for Christine and Callie's safety. Although Armando is ready to turn himself in, Mike has another plan, suspecting someone close to them has been feeding McGrath information about their whereabouts. Mike calls Rita while she's with Lockwood, warning her of the situation. Rita, who is heading to the station, agrees to let Mike accompany her. As they ride down in the elevator, Rita confirms that Lockwood is colluding with McGrath. Lockwood then attempts to kill her, but Kelly and Dorn arrive just in time to take him down. They manage to get Lockwood to talk, revealing his motive profiting from his association with the cartel. They record his voice to create a call where Mike impersonates Lockwood and arranges a meeting with McGrath. Mike then tells Marcus, Armando, Rita, Kelly, and Dorn that they can only trust each other moving forward. The heroes set up a meeting with the villains at an old alligator park, known for housing a massive albino alligator named Duke. A plane arrives to bring McGrath, Christine and Kelly to the location. As Mike aims at McGrath, he begins to have another panic attack, worried he might accidentally hit Christine. Meanwhile, the alligators in the water start to approach Armando's position, alerting McGrath to someone being nearby. Before a goon can spot Armando, he shoots him, causing the goon to fall into the water and be eaten by the alligators. Mike pursues McGrath and Christine, while Lockwood tries to escape. The others engage in a shootout with McGrath's men. Lockwood attempts to hijack the plane for himself, but Rita shoots it down, causing it to crash into a building. In the chaos, Lockwood shoots Dorn in the arm and tries to target Rita, but she kicks him into a pit where Duke the alligator resides. Lockwood becomes Duke's meal. Meanwhile, Armando protects Callie from McGrath's remaining goons, eliminating them before escorting her to safety. At the same time, Mike snaps out of his panic attack when he has a vision of Captain Howard. Howard tells him to forgive himself for believing he was responsible for Howard's death. Marcus ends up on the same beach from his vision, where McGrath captures him. Mike arrives just in time, and McGrath forces him to choose between letting Marcus or Christine die. Mike shoots Marcus in his vest to get a clear shot at McGrath, then unloads on him, killing him with a final shot to the head. Judy then finds Armando and is about to execute him, but Callie steps in and tells Judy that Armando saved her life. Judy hesitates and ultimately decides to let Armando go. Mike helps Armando find a way to escape. As authorities arrive at the scene and arrest McGrath's remaining goons, news reports confirm that Howard has been officially exonerated. Mike, Marcus, and their loved ones gather at the park for a barbecue. As Mike and Marcus bicker over who's cooking what on the grill, Reggie shows up with his chicken and asks if he can grill. The bad boys initially laugh it off, but then recall that Reggie took down McGrath's henchmen and saved the family. They decide to let him take over this time, and Reggie beams with satisfaction. And showing this story ends here. Thanks for watching.